Hello everyone and welcome to Friday's Big Maths video for CLIC 6. Well done for getting onto CLIC 6. Now I'm going to go through this one because things get a little bit different once you get to CLIC 6. Okay? Because CLIC 6 is where you're supposed to write things down all by yourself. Okay? And for that reason there are lots of different versions of CLIC 6. If I just show you, we're on CLIC 6 here. Week 1. Next week we'll have a different set of questions. They'll be the same style of questions, but they'll be slightly different. And there's 10 weeks altogether. Okay? So let's have a look at them. So what you need to do here really with your piece of paper and your pencil, what I would do is I would just write on your piece of paper question number 1 and write the answer, question number 2 and write the answer, and so on. Okay? So, let's have a look at question number 1. Well, question number 1 is very, very similar to what you'd have had on CLIC 5. So here's the number. You've got to break that number down into what does that digit stand for and what does that digit stand for, just like we did in CLIC 5. Okay? Question number 2 is putting all of these numbers in order. Now, you should be good at that because we've just done this very, very recently in our maths, haven't we? In order, shall we say from the smallest through to the greatest. So write these 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers down in order from the smallest through to the greatest. Oh, and of course grown-ups, you'll be keeping a check whether your children got these right. So 1 mark for each one that they get right here, and if they get all of those numbers in the right order, 1 mark there. Question number 3 is moving on to just writing down the missing number in a sequence. So looking at this sequence here, there's 1 number missing. Well, boys and girls, you need to write down what's the number that's missing in that sequence. So you've got to find the pattern really, work out what's missing and write that number down. And if they write the correct number down, 1 point for that. Very similar for question 4. It's looking at the number pattern, spotting the pattern. What's the missing number? Write the missing number down for question 4. And if they get the missing number correct, that's 1 point. Now, question number 5 is looking at odd and even numbers. Okay? Now, odd and even numbers, if you haven't done this before, I'm sure your grown-ups can help you with this, but the idea is that they should be able to pick out the odd numbers this time. So it's asking you to find odd numbers. There's usually 2 to find. So these numbers are either odd or even, but you've only got to write down the 2 odd numbers. Okay? If you're not sure about odd and even, your grown-up can help you with that for now. Okay? And then, but they've got to be able to get it right on their own. Okay? So if we need to teach them this time, that's okay. But next time, they can't get a mark for that this time. But if they do know their odds numbers and even numbers, and if today they can write down the 2 odd numbers, then they get 1 point. Got to get both of them. Okay? Question number 6 is carrying on with a number pattern. So you've got to look at this number pattern here. There's 3 numbers there, but then there's what are the 3 next numbers that follow that pattern? Okay? So looking at these 3 numbers and writing the 3 next numbers in that pattern. And if they get all 3 correct, that's 1 mark. Question number 7 is writing this number sentence and finding the answer. So writing this number sentence down and finding the answer. If need be, there's a number line to help there too. Okay? But 1 mark if they get that correct. And similarly for number 8, it's looking at the number sentence there, writing it down, and then working out the answer. And again, there's a number line to help there if needed. And if they get that correct, 1 mark. And question number 9 and question number 10 are quite similar. Question 9 is asking you, it's telling you what to do. You're counting backwards, starting at that number there. What are the next 1, 2 numbers? 3 numbers actually. 1, 2, 3 numbers when you count backwards. So they can write those down. And if they get that right, 1 mark. And same for number 10, counting backwards, but this time starting at that number. That one's next, that one's next. What is the next? 1, 2, 3 numbers in that series. Okay? And if they get those 3 numbers right, 1 mark too. Okay, so after all of that, add up the scores that your grown-up said you got right, and if you could let me know in the message how many you got, then I will make sure that you get that dojo point, and I'll make a note of your score. Remember, to move on from CLIC 6, we need to get 3 10 out of 10s in a row, okay? So 3 10 out of 10s in a row. The reason we do that is to make sure that the children are very, very solid in their understanding of all of the different concepts that we've got here. So, well done for that today. Let me know how you did, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.